Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to do a video on the top graphs to know. This is 115 essential relationships for Earth and space science. I think the best way to do this would be I'll say the graph first, and then you can pause it, try to get the graph correct, and then unpause it, and then I'll solve it. So we're going to do 115 of these. Some of them I'll explain, but most of them we're just going to rapid fire in order to just blast through this. All right, so here we go. Got my little blue pen, and we're just going to do, is it direct, inverse, cyclic, constant, or whatever you think this relationship might be. So here we go. You read this like this: as stream velocity increases, what happens to the amount of erosion? Answer to that's going to be direct. As stream velocity increases, the amount of erosion increases. All right, you get it now? All right, here we go. As wind speed increases, what happens to the height of waves? Should be increases. As particle density increases, what happens to the settling time? It's how long it takes to settle. That should be inverse. So that means that the particle, think of a heavier particle, it's going to settle faster. I don't like to say heavy with density, but you get my point. Okay, next one's cooling time. As cooling time increases, what happens to the rock's crystal sizes? Mostly in igneous. They should get bigger, so it should go like that. As distance from the sun increases, what happens to orbital period? If you didn't even know what orbital period was, I would definitely know that's how long it takes to go around the sun. This should be direct. As star mass increases, what happens to the lifespan of the star? It should go down. They survive less time the bigger they are. Next one is star mass increases, what happens to fusion rate? That should go up. As lunar phase cycle time increases, what happens to the illuminated portion of the moon? The keyword there was cycle, so it should cycle. This should be a cyclic relationship. As sunspot cycle time increases, what happens to the number of sunspots? Same thing, cyclic relationship with sunspots. All right, we're crushing this. Here we go. Next page. As burial depth of sediment increases, what happens to the amount of compaction? All right, we should be getting more compact. Next one is, as temperature increases, what happens to density of the material except water? This one should be inverse. Next one is, as temperature increases, what happens to the density in water? All right, this one's kind of interesting. It's going to be highest when it's in liquid. So it's going to be something like this. The terrible triangle. Let's do a good one. That one's better. Most dense as a liquid. Next one is, as volume increases for a uniform material, what happens to density? This should be constant, right? The amount doesn't matter. Density should stay the same. As latitude in degrees north increases, what happens to the average temperature? It should drop the higher the latitude. As distance between isolines increases, what happens to the gradient? It should drop. Next one is, as distance to galaxy increases, what happens to the amount of redshift? It should increase. Listen, if I'm saying words like redshift, I'm not going to go through all the vocab here. I would write that down and then go look it up. All right, so that way you could study the words that you don't know, because you have to know all these words for the course. As distance to galaxy increases, what happens to gravitational force? It should go down. As mass of an object increases, gravitational force increases. As distance between foci increase, what happens to eccentricity? That should be an increase. As length of major axis increases, what happens to the size of the orbit? That should be an increase. Distance from the sun increases, what happens to the orbital velocity? That should be a decrease. Moving on, we're blasting through this here. As distance from the sun increases, what happens to period of revolution? We should have an increased period of revolution. As rate of rotation increases, what happens to the length of the day? As we spin faster, day should get shorter. As distance from the sun increases, what happens to the temperature of a planet? It should get colder, so that should be a decrease. As you go from sunrise to sunset, what happens to angle of insolation? You should have the highest angle in the afternoon, so this should look like this. As angle of insolation increases, what happens to intensity of insolation? That should be an increase. As latitude increases, what happens to the altitude of the noon sun? Altitude should decrease. Next section. As altitude of the sun increases, the length of your shadow should get shorter. As time of day increases, what happens to the length of your shadow? It should be shortest in the middle of the day, so you should have a graph that looks kind of like this. By the way, for all these like angle graph, you could also do one of these. It doesn't matter. As distance increases, what happens to apparent diameter? That's how big something looks. It should get smaller. As air temperature increases, moisture capacity should go up. Warmer can hold more water. Air temperature increases, what happens to relative humidity? It decreases. Air temperature increases, what happens to rate of evaporation? Should get higher. All right, next page. All right, this one's a little interesting. So we have a location A, B, C, D around a star, and we're going to say, as you go from A to B to C to D to back to A, what happens to gravitational force? So we should be highest gravity at A, so that would mean we're here, and lowest at C, right? So the graph would look like this. Next one is same thing, but for orbital velocity. So orbital velocity is directly related to gravitational force, right? So that's Kepler's law. So this is going to be actually the same thing. Apparent diameter of sun, it's going to look biggest at A. So this is going to be this again. 1950 to present, what happened to the amount of carbon dioxide? It went up. Global warming, right? Earth's average temperature versus height of sea level. Earth's average temperature increases, we get the sea level rise. Melting ice to albedo. Albedo is reflectivity. Melting more ice, less reflectivity. We're going down. Air temperature to air pressure. As air temperature increases, the pressure should drop. Low pressure is generally warmer. As elevation increases, what happens to air pressure? It should drop. As humidity increases, what happens to air pressure? Think water, right? Storms, we should get lower pressure. As air pressure increases, what happens to the wind speed? Higher pressure is going to be lower wind, so that should go like that. How are you doing so far? Listen, it's great to listen to these, but it's really better to kind of think of the answer before I give it away. So make sure you're kind of like pausing and like interacting with this to get the most out of it. By the way, share it with your friends. Wind speed increases. What happens to the rate of evaporation? We should be getting more evaporation. Surface area increasing, rate of evaporation should go up. More moisture, what happens to rate of evaporation? There's more moisture content in the air, it should drop. It's not going to be able to evaporate as easy. If the difference between the air temperature and dew point increase, what happens to chance of precipitation? It should go down. Amount of aerosols in the air go up. Transparency of the atmosphere drops. Slope of surface increases, what happens to runoff? Slope more runoff. As slope increases, infiltration drops. As rate of rainfall increases, runoff increases. As runoff increases, flooding of a river increases. As infiltration increases, the height of the water table goes up. As particle size increases, if you're round and sorted, what happens to porosity? This should actually be constant. As particle size increases for round and sorted, what happens to permeability? That should go up. As wind speed increases, what happens to rate of evaporation? It should go up. As compaction increases, what happens to porosity? Should go down. As we move from sorted to unsorted, what happens to permeability? It should drop. As you go from a circular particle to a flat particle, what happens to permeability? It should drop. As you go from loose to packed particles, what happens to permeability? It should drop. A lot of drops. As sediment size increases, what happens to permeability? It should become more permeable the bigger the sediment. As stream discharge increases, what happens to stream velocity? It should go up. If slope of the surface increases, what happens to stream velocity? It should increase. Look at my typos here. Oh no. I gotta fix those. That's what happens when you type sideways, by the way. It looks right real quick and then it's messed up. As elevation increases, what happens to average temperature? It should drop. As latitude increases, what happens to average temperature? It should drop. As distance from ocean increases, what happens to the temperature range? It should be higher. As sediment size increases, what happens to rate of weathering? It should decrease. How you doing so far? Hopefully you're getting a lot of these right. As distance from the sun increases, what happens to total solar radiation received? It should decrease. As the distance from the mid-ocean ridge increases, what happens to ocean crust age? It should increase. If seafloor spreading rate increases, what happens to the ocean basin width? That should increase. If the parent isotope amount increases, daughter isotope should decrease. If the impact crater density increases, what happens to the surface age of the planet? It should be more. If plate convergence increases, what happens to mountain building? It should increase. As stream velocity increases, what happens to deposition? Should drop. If vegetation cover increases, what happens to soil erosion? It should drop. As water freezes, what happens to the volume of water? It expands when it freezes, so it should go up. If there's more water in rocks, what happens to the melting temperature of rocks? It should drop the melting point. If pressure increases, what happens to the density of a rock? It should increase. If there's more greenhouse gases, what should happen to global temperatures? It should increase. If global temperature increases, glacial ice volume should probably drop. If global temperature increases, the ocean temperature will rise as well. If ice cover decreases, the surface absorption of sunlight will decrease. If albedo increases, the absorbed solar energy would go down. If volcanic aerosols increase, what happens to the incoming sunlight? Should be less. If ocean temperature increases, what happens to the intensity of a hurricane? It should get more intense. If human population goes up, what happens to the amount of resources we demand? That should go up. If conservation goes up, what happens to the amount of resource we deplete? Deplete means amount going away. That should go down. Pollution control technology goes up. What happens to how much pollutants can be released? Hopefully less. Technology better, less pollution. As biodiversity increases, what happens to the resource depletion rate? Biodiversity is good, so rates should drop. Habitat loss increases, biodiversity decreases. As biodiversity increases, the stability of an ecosystem should go up. If the cost of a solution goes up, what happens to its feasibility? It should drop. If the efficiency of technology goes up, what happens to the amount of waste? It should drop. If coastal development goes up, what happens to the amount of hazard exposure? That should go up. If drought frequency increases, what happens to agricultural productivity? It should drop. If population density increases, what happens to the demand for fresh water? We should have more. If urbanization increases, what happens to the amount of impervious surfaces? It should be more. If impervious surfaces goes up, what happens to the runoff? It goes up. Think of impervious as impermeable. It means the water can't soak through it. More runoff, how much groundwater recharges there going to be? Should go down. Wetland area up, flood risk drops. More forest cover, carbon dioxide levels will drop. The plants will absorb that CO2. If there's more CO2, what happens to ocean pH? It'll become more acidic, so this should drop. If there's more ocean pH, what happens to the shell-forming organism survival rate? It should go up, because if pH goes up, that would be better for the shell-forming organisms, right? Instead of them dropping. Okay, next page. As fossil fuel consumption goes up, the greenhouse gas emissions would go up as well. As renewable energy use goes up, what happens to our dependence on fossil fuels? It should be less. If there's more energy efficiency, the energy consumption should drop. If higher sea level, the coastal land area would drop. If there's more flooding, what happens to infrastructure damage? It would go up. If there's conservation efforts, what happens to the amount of biodiversity that we lose? It should go down. As protected habitat area goes up, the species survival rate should go up too. Carbon dioxide levels go up. What happens to plant biomass? Should go up. Recycling go up. Material to landfills goes down. Mineral hardness goes up. The resistance to being scratched goes up. As magma silica content goes up, magma viscosity should go up. As magma viscosity goes up, the explosiveness of the volcano should go up. All right, that was the top graphs to know. Hopefully you enjoyed that little review, and I got to fix my typos here, and that's embarrassing, so please forgive. Stick with me for more review videos for final exams and Regences, and if you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave them down below and let me know how you do on the test. All right, see you later.